All right, so are you ready to dive into something a little different?
I'm always ready for a deep dive.
Okay, good. Because this one is going to be juicy. We are talking about dating advice.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
This program is called Irresistible Texts, and it claims to have, like, cracked the code.
Crack the code of dating.
Yeah, pretty much using specific text messages that are supposed to just, like, boost a man's interest and commitment.
Okay, so this is texting strategy.
Yeah.
Interesting, because everybody's using texting these days for dating.
Oh, absolutely. And it can be like a minefield, decoding those little dots, agonizing over the perfect reply, wondering if you came on too strong or not strong enough.
Right, and people overthink it so much.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
So does this make Matthew Coast the guy behind this program?
Uh-huh.
Is he really offering a solution?
Well, he says he's been a dating coach since 2005.
Wow.
And he's worked with thousands of women, so he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, he's got the street cred.
Yeah, he calls himself a commitment coach. And his premise is that men, especially attractive men, are just bombarded with messages.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
So they get bored really easily.
Right.
And you need to stand out.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. So Irresistible Texts is supposed to help women cut through the noise and capture a man's attention.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense that you've got to be different. You got to stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely. How do you do that? Yeah, like how exactly does he propose we do that?
Well, it's actually kind of fascinating. He focuses on what he calls the 5 love chemicals.
Okay.
Testosterone, dopamine, androgen, endorphins, and oxytocin.
Wow, you went all out with these.
Yeah, and these are real hormones that
Yeah.
actually do play a role in attraction and bonding.
Right.
And Coase claims that his text messages are designed to trigger these hormones in a man.
Oh, so you're manipulating his brain chemistry?
Well, yeah, he's saying that they're supposed to make the man feel more drawn to the woman who's sending these texts. Okay, wait, hold on. Are you telling me that a few well-crafted texts can actually mess with a guy's hormones?
Well, it does sound a bit like magic.
I know. It really does.
Though
It sounds a little far-fetched.
It kind of does, but if you think about it, our emotions and our behaviors are definitely influenced by our hormones.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when we feel that rush of excitement or that warm, fuzzy feeling of connection, those are hormones at work.
Right.
And so what Coast is saying is that these texts are supposed to create those positive feelings and associate them with you.
So it's like Pavlovian.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. So maybe there is some science behind it.
Nah.
But I still need to know what these irresistible texts actually look like. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right, give me an example.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take the first step in his program,
Okay.
which focuses on testosterone.
The big T.
Yeah, testosterone is often linked to that drive to achieve, to conquer.
Right, like the go-getter hormone.
Exactly, and so the texts in this first stage are designed to spark a man's curiosity and present you as someone worth pursuing.
Okay, so kind of like playing hard to get a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Instead of coming across as overly eager,
Right.
you want to create that sense of mystery and intrigue.
Oh, so you're a mysterious woman.
Exactly. And Coase actually gives specific examples of texts that can achieve this.
Okay, like what?
Like mentioning something intriguing that you did that day or referencing a shared interest that would make him want to know more.
Oh, so you're piquing his interest.
Exactly.
Leaving him wanting more.
You don't want to overwhelm him with information. You just want to stimulate his mind.
Okay, so you're stimulating his mind, not just his, other parts.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the strategy here. So we pique his interest. We create a little mystery. What's next?
So then comes dopamine, the feel-good hormone.
Okay, everyone loves a little dopamine.
Everyone loves dopamine, right?
Yeah.
It's like liquid motivation. And his second step is all about triggering its release.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, so you want to create a sense of anticipation and reward.
Okay.
Like think about how you feel when you're looking forward to something good.
Yes.
That excitement you feel,
Oh, yeah.
that's dopamine at work.
Dopamine's a good thing.
Dopamine is a good thing. And so the idea is that these texts are aimed at creating those good feelings and associating them with you.
So he's thinking of you and getting this dopamine rush.
Exactly.
That's clever.
It's very clever.
Okay, so what kind of text would fall into this category?
So Coast suggests things like offering genuine compliments,
Okay.
like reminding him of a fun experience that you shared together, or maybe hinting at something exciting that you might do together in the future. So it's about keeping him engaged and creating a positive feedback loop.
You're like the fun girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're the source of all the good stuff.
I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've piqued his interest with the testosterone texts. We've got him hooked with the dopamine hits.
Yeah.
What's the next step in Coast's grand plan?
So this is where things get a little bit deeper.
Okay,
Step 3 focuses on androgen.
androgen.
Yeah, what is that?
So androgen is kind of interesting because Coast describes it as the hormone that sustains a man's interest over time.
Okay.
So it's about going beyond that initial spark and building a deeper connection.
So now we're really like fostering a real connection,
Exactly.
not just playing games.
Exactly. So think of androgen as like the glue that holds that attraction together.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah. And Coast suggests using texts that encourage meaningful conversations,
Okay.
that reveal shared values.
Mm-hmm.
So things like asking open-ended questions, sharing your own thoughts and experiences, and really trying to create a sense of emotional intimacy.
Okay, so this is where it starts to sound a little bit less like just playing games and more like genuine relationship advice.
I think so too.
Yeah, you're encouraging vulnerability
Yeah,
and authentic connection.
absolutely. And Coast's argument is that men crave connection and intellectual stimulation just as much as women do.
I think that's true. I think so too. And so he believes that these androgen boosting texts help to create a stronger bond between two people.
Yeah, because you can't build a lasting relationship on just superficiality.
No, absolutely not.
You need that deeper level.
Yeah, you need to have those shared experiences and that understanding.
Okay, so we've got testosterone for capturing his attention. We've got dopamine for keeping him engaged. And androgen for building a real connection.
Yes.
I like this. What are the last two hormones in Coast's recipe for love?
Well, those are a little bit more about rekindling the flame and creating that sense of closeness.
So intriguing.
Yeah, but we can dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, I am hooked. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back to explore the final two steps in Coast's Irresistible Texts program, so stay tuned.
Definitely don't miss it.
We'll be right back. All right, we are back and ready to uncover the final two steps in Matthew Coast's Irresistible Texts program.
It's getting good.
I know, I'm excited. We've already talked about testosterone for grabbing attention, dopamine for keeping a guy engaged, and androgen for building that crucial connection.
Yes.
So what's next? Fill me in.
All right, so steps 4 and 5 are all about those feel-good hormones that create a sense of warmth and closeness.
Okay.
And Coase argues that these texts can be especially effective if things have cooled down a bit or if a guy's gone quiet on you.
Okay, so this is the rekindle the flame stage?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, this is where it gets juicy.
I'm definitely interested to hear more about this.
So step 4 focuses on endorphins.
Endorphins.
Endorphins, yeah.
Those are the, like, exercise hormones, right?
Well, yeah, they're those natural mood boosters that we often associate with exercise.
Right.
But they're also released when we experience pleasure or joy.
Okay.
So Coase claims that certain text messages can actually trigger the release of endorphins, making a man feel happy and connected to you.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like you're giving him a little high?
Kind of like that, yeah.
For text.
Through a text message, yeah.
Yeah.
So think about things that make you feel good,
Okay.
like remembering a funny moment, listening to your favorite song, or just receiving a kind word from someone you care about.
Mm-hmm.
So Coast suggests sending texts that evoke those positive emotions and remind the guy of the good times that you've shared together.
So it's like you're giving him a little virtual hug through a text message.
Exactly.
I like it.
It's about creating that warm, positive association with you and making him remember why he enjoys spending time with you.
Okay.
So, for example, you could reference a funny inside joke,
Uh-huh.
or remind him of a great date that you had,
Right.
or even just send a thoughtful message letting him know that you're thinking of him.
Ah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's all about creating a sense of nostalgia and reminding him of those good vibes that you bring to his life.
Exactly.
I can see how that would be effective in rekindling a fading spark.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got the endorphins going.
Yes.
What about the final hormone in this cocktail?
So finally we get to step 5, which revolves around oxytocin.
Oxytocin, yeah, it's often called the love hormone or the cuddle hormone
Okay.
because it plays a key role in bonding and creating feelings of trust and closeness.
So are you telling me I can make a guy feel all cuddly and lovey-dovey just by sending him the right text?
Well, you can't physically cuddle someone through a text,
Right.
but you can create a similar feeling of warmth and connection
Okay.
by sending messages that convey affection and support.
Okay.
So Coast suggests texts that express appreciation for something he's done
Uh-huh.
or offer a kind word of encouragement or even just let him know that you're there for him.
This is about creating that feeling of emotional safety and intimacy.
Exactly, even when you're not physically together.
I like it.
And Coast believes that these oxytocin-boosting texts can actually strengthen the bond between two people
Uh-huh.
and make a man feel more emotionally connected to the woman sending them.
This whole love chemical approach is quite fascinating.
It really is.
It's like he's created a texting playbook designed to evoke specific emotional responses in men.
It's pretty brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
And while we've talked about, the potential effectiveness of these texting techniques,
Right.
it's also important to remember that building a successful relationship goes beyond just sending the right text messages.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you need to actually like connect with the person in real life.
Absolutely.
It's not all about texting.
No.
But it's interesting to think that these little messages can have such a powerful impact.
I think so too.
So Coast's program is like a tool in your dating arsenal.
I would say so. Yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all,
Right.
but it can definitely be helpful.
Okay, so we've covered the 5 steps of Coast's program. But what about the real-world results? Like, does this stuff actually work?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
Well, Coase includes quite a few testimonials in his program
Okay.
from women who claim to have seen amazing results using his techniques.
Like what kind of results?
They talk about things like reigniting the spark in their relationships, attracting more attention from men, and even finding lasting love.
Ooh, lasting love.
Yeah, so they're pretty powerful stories.
I mean, testimonials can be pretty compelling.
They can be, especially when you're looking for that extra edge in the dating game.
Right. But I'm always a little bit skeptical of testimonials.
I am too.
Because it's easy to cherry pick the positive stories.
Right.
You never know what's going on behind the scenes.
Right, exactly.
But I guess the sheer number of positive reviews in Coast's program does suggest that there might be something to his methods.
I think so too. And it's like anything in life, there are no guarantees.
Right.
But having a solid strategy and understanding the psychology behind attraction can certainly increase your chances of success.
Yeah, you've got to have a game plan.
Exactly.
So it's not a magic bullet,
No,
but it could be a valuable addition to your dating arsenal.
absolutely.
Huh.
And speaking of putting your best foot forward, Coast also uses some interesting marketing techniques to promote his program.
Oh, tell me more.
So he uses some classic strategies like limited time discounts and a money-back guarantee.
Uh-huh.
And these tactics are designed to create a sense of urgency
Right.
and make the offer seem more appealing.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those tactics before. They play on that fear of missing out
Totally.
and our desire to get a good deal.
Yeah, FOMO is a powerful motivator.
It's clever marketing.
It is. It's very clever, and it speaks to the fact that Coast is a savvy businessman
Yeah.
who understands how to present his product in a way that resonates with his target audience.
Yeah, he knows his market.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. But let's move beyond the marketing and talk about something a little more nuanced.
Okay.
The ethical considerations of using these texting techniques.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Because is it okay to try to influence someone's feelings, even if it's through something as seemingly harmless as a text message?
Right.
What do you think?
I mean, it's a tough question.
It is.
Some people might say that any attempt to influence someone's feelings is manipulative.
Right, and that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that all communication is a form of influence in some way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Every word we choose, every gesture we make,
Mm-hmm.
has the potential to impact the way that others perceive us and feel about us.
So you're saying that we're always influencing each other?
In a way, yes. And so I think it's not about avoiding influence altogether,
Yeah.
but about being mindful of our intentions
Right.
and using our communication skills in a way that feels ethical and aligned with our values.
Okay, so it's more about being authentic and respectful
Exactly.
than trying to trick someone into liking you.
Right, because ultimately, Coast's program is just offering a framework for understanding some of those underlying dynamics of attraction and communication.
Right.
And it's really up to each individual to decide how they want to use that information
Uh-huh.
and whether they feel comfortable applying these techniques in their own lives.
Okay, so it's a tool.
It's a tool.
You can use it for good or for evil.
Exactly.
That's up to you.
It's up to you.
All right, so we've talked about the ethics,
Yes.
but let's get back to the big question.
The big question.
Can these techniques actually create lasting attraction?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
I mean, can a few cleverly crafted text messages really lead to true love?
I think we all want to believe that there's some secret formula for finding love.
Oh, yeah.
But deep down, we know that it's a lot more complicated than that.
Right.
Attraction is a complex interplay of factors.
Mhm.
Chemistry, shared values, life experiences, and
Right.
yes, even communication styles.
So it's not just about the texts.
Exactly. It's about the whole package.
So while Coast's program might offer some valuable tools,
Mm-hmm.
for sparking initial interest and navigating the early stages of dating,
Yes.
it's important to remember that building a truly fulfilling relationship goes beyond just sending the right texts.
Absolutely.
So it's not a magic bullet,
It's not a magic bullet.
but it could be a valuable addition to your dating arsenal.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating. You
Yeah.
know? It's about finding that balance between understanding the science of attraction
Right.
and honoring the art of genuine connection.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground today,
Yeah.
from the science of love chemicals to the ethics of influence, from testimonials to marketing tactics.
I have.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to get your overall take on Coast's Irresistible Texts program. Is it worth checking out, or should we
Yeah.
just stick to our gut instincts and wing it in the dating world?
It's a tough question to answer definitively. I think it depends on your individual needs and goals.
Okay.
If you're looking for a quick fix or a guaranteed path to finding love, this program probably isn't for you.
Okay, fair enough.
But if you're someone who feels stuck in a rut,
Okay.
who struggles with confidence in the dating world, or simply wants to learn more about the psychology of attraction and effective communication, then I think it could be really helpful.
So it's more about empowering yourself with knowledge
Yes.
and understanding,
Yes.
rather than relying on some magical formula.
Exactly. It's about using these tools mindfully and ethically to create the kind of connections that you desire. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe along the way you'll discover that the real magic lies not in the words themselves, but in the intention behind them.
That's a beautiful thought, and I think it's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
This deep dive into irresistible texts has been a fascinating exploration of the complex world of dating and the power of communication.
It really has.
It's amazing how much impact something as simple as a text message can have.
It is, and I think it's a reminder that we should all be more mindful of our communication.
Absolutely.
Because words have power,
They really do.
and the way we use them can make all the difference.
So to all our listeners out there, be thoughtful, be intentional,
Yes.
and most importantly, be yourself.
And happy texting.
Yes. Until next time. So we've talked about all the science and the ethics behind irresistible text.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have. But there's one piece of the puzzle that I'm really curious about.
Okay.
What do these texts actually look like?
Ah, you want to see the goods?
Yeah. Spill the secrets.
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Remember we talked about dopamine being like liquid motivation and how Coast aims to make you the source of those good feelings?
Yeah.
He actually has a whole section called the 5-text secret
Okay.
that's supposed to do just that.
The 5-text secret sounds intriguing.
Now, you know it does, right?
So is this like a magic spell to make any guy fall head over heels?
Well, he presents it as a powerful sequence.
Okay.
5 specific types of texts sent in a specific order
Uh-huh.
that can really impact a man's responsiveness.
Okay.
But remember, it's all built on the foundation we've already discussed.
Right. Understanding male psychology and those love chemicals.
Exactly.
Okay. So break it down for me. What's the first text all about?
All right, so the first text is all about establishing that playful connection, piquing his curiosity.
Okay.
Coast suggests using humor,
Uh-huh.
maybe some lighthearted teasing, or even a little challenge
Okay.
to capture his attention.
So you're showing him that you're not just another boring texter.
Exactly. You're someone who's fun and engaging.
You're someone who's worth talking to.
Exactly. You want to be memorable. You want to make a positive association right from the start.
I like it.
Coast says this sets the tone for a much more enjoyable interaction.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm more likely to respond to someone who makes me laugh
Right.
or think than someone who just sends a generic, hey.
Exactly.
Okay. So you've sparked his interest with text number 1. What's next?
Text number 2 is where you create anticipation. You make him feel special.
Okay.
So Coast suggests a genuine compliment,
Okay.
maybe referencing a shared interest or hinting at something exciting you could do together.
Oh, so you're feeding his ego a little bit,
A little bit, yeah.
making him feel like he's the only one you want to share these experiences with.
Precisely, Coast believes this creates a sense of longing, making him more eager to connect.
Okay. I can see how that would work.
Yeah.
It's like you're dangling a carrot, and he can't help but reach for it.
Exactly.
All right. What's text number 3 in this sequence?
So the third text is all about deepening the connection, encouraging him to open up.
Okay.
So Coast recommends asking open-ended questions about something he's passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
demonstrating genuine interest in his life.
So you're shifting from playful banter to a more meaningful conversation.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, Coast argues that this creates emotional intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you're not just interested in superficial things,
Right.
but in who he is as a person.
Okay, so it's not just flirting, it's about building that connection.
Right.
What about text number 4? How do you keep the momentum going?
So the fourth text injects a little more playfulness,
Okay.
reminds him of the positive emotions he associates with you.
Uh-huh.
So think a funny meme, a lighthearted anecdote,
Okay.
maybe referencing a shared joke that brings back happy memories.
Okay, so a little dose of dopamine.
Exactly, to keep him smiling and wanting more.
I'm starting to see how these texts, when used strategically,
Yeah,
can build a pretty powerful connection.
they can.
Okay, final text. What's the grand finale?
All right, so the fifth text is all about leaving him with a warm feeling and a desire to see you again.
Okay.
So express appreciation for his time,
Uh-huh.
leave the door open for future interaction,
Mm-hmm.
and subtly hint that you're looking forward to connecting again soon.
So it's like ending on a high note, making him want more, both in
Bruh.
text and in person.
Exactly.
This whole 5-text secret is quite a strategic approach.
It is. It's very strategic. And while we may not agree with everything Coase says,
That's-
it's undeniable that he's tapped into some powerful psychological principles
Yeah.
that can influence attraction and connection.
It's a good reminder that communication, even in its simplest forms like texting,
Yeah.
can have a huge impact on our relationships.
Absolutely. The words we choose, our tone, how we respond it can all either build bridges or create walls between us.
That's a great point.
So Irresistible Texts might not be a magic spell, but it does offer some valuable insights into the dynamics of attraction and how to communicate more effectively.
This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
It's been fascinating to explore this program, analyze its claims, and really unpack the psychology behind it all.
I agree. It's always a pleasure to dive into these topics with you.
Likewise, and for our listeners out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you tried any of Coast's techniques? Do you think there's any truth to his methods? Share your experiences. We're always interested in hearing different perspectives.
Absolutely. And as always, keep those brains buzzing and those hearts open.
Yes. And until next time, happy texting.